back to The Beauty Beginners. I'm Christina, and in today's video I will show you guys how to contour, bring color back into the face with blush, as well as accentuate features with highlighter. If you'd like to know how to do that, go ahead and keep watching. This is what my face looks like when I've just applied foundation, no contour, no blush, and no highlight. Before we get started with the contouring tutorial, I'm going to show you guys the products and tools that you can use to achieve this look. Starting with bronzer, this is the Cream Contouring and Blush Kit from e.l.f. You can get it at eyeslipsface.com. It has a matte bronzer in there, which is really great because matte bronzers will give you a much more natural look. If they have too much shimmer, too much sparkle in them, you're just going to look like a disco ball. You can also use a powder bronzer. This is Rimmel's Natural Bronzer, and the shade is 021 Sunlight. For bronzer and contouring, I like to use this brush. This is the Real Techniques contour brush. I like it because it's a lot smaller than typical contour brushes, so I have a lot more precision. Like I said in the brush video, you want to make sure that you have a lot of precision rather than having a larger brush, which is going to be, you know, applying a lot more product, and it's not going to look as precise, which can make you look a little muddy. Moving on to blush, again, I will show you guys the cream product and also powder products. This is my go-to blush for almost every day. This is the NYX Cream Blush in shade 05 Glow. It's a very natural color. This is a cream product, and I like to use the Real Techniques stippling brush. Again, it's smaller than your typical blush brush. A lot of people will use a powder brush like this. However, I just find it to be too big, and I'd rather work in smaller areas than in bigger areas. If you prefer powder products, there are a lot of great ones out there. For example, I like to use Frat Boy from The Balm. This is another great natural product. And also Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in Flush. For these products, I would still use a stippling brush like this one because it will give me a lighter wash of color, and I don't want to apply something that's densely packed and is going to give me a ton of color with something as pigmented as this. I don't want to look like a doll. I just want to give a little more color back to my face. Lastly, moving on to highlight. You can use a cream highlight. I don't have a powder highlight to show you guys right now, but I use this from Benefit. This is High Beam. It comes with a little applicator inside. It looks kind of like nail polish. I don't use that applicator because a lot of product comes on that applicator, so I like to use a brush like this that's just a little smaller and is going to be, again, more precise. That's probably going to be today's lesson, is smaller brushes are going to be a little better for beginners. You can also use something like this. This is a foundation. If you have a foundation that's too light for your face, or if you want to go out and buy a foundation that matches the finish of the foundation you have, that's another great way to highlight as well as contour. You can use a product that is too deep for you to contour and one that's too light to highlight. Getting started with the tutorial, I'm going to do bronzer first and contour my face. I'm going to be using the cream products from e.l.f. So I just take my brush and apply a very minimal amount. Then I often make a fishy face, so it's okay to look silly while you do your makeup. Okay, so right now you can see that it is a very harsh line, and it just looks like a streak of color. What you're going to want to do then is take the foundation brush that you use to apply your foundation and buff the color in, and you want to work in circular motions working up. You don't want to bring the color any further down. You want to bring the color up and close to this part of your hairline. And right away I can tell the difference in this cheek. It looks just a little more defined. My face on this side looks just a little bit thinner, and as you can see, the harsh line has gone away, but I have just a little bit more definition in that area. You can also contour your forehead. This is a great way of adding color back into the face. If you feel like you've gone a little too pale, you can add color back in. And just remember to blend it. The great thing about contouring is that you can make any part of your face look receded as long as you do it right. For example, if you feel that your nose is too wide, you can do several things. you can bring the eyebrow color that you use a little closer in. The closer that you bring the heads of your eyebrows, the more narrow the nostrils of your nose are going to look. You can also use your contouring color to contour the sides of your nose right here. So again, we're going to use a very small brush. And as you can see, it's a very harsh line, but we're going to go over with the foundation brush. So there we have the right side of my face, which has been contoured, the forehead, my cheek, as well as my nose. Moving on to blush. Today I'm going to be using a powder product. So I'm going to be using Frat Boy from The Balm. And we'll be using the Real Techniques stippling brush to apply that. As far as where to apply your blush, you can choose different parts. You can choose to apply it here on the apples of the cheek, or you can put it further back here, depending on the look that you're going for. So we're gonna lightly dab our brush into our product, and don't smile too enthusiastically because your apples, they move depending on how you're smiling. So if you apply it when you're like this, right here, it's not always going to transfer well down here, see? So I like to just give a light smile and apply that. Alright, now we've got color and contour on. Next thing you can do is highlight. If you'd like to highlight, you can use this product. I like to put just a little on my hand, like this, just so I can, if I get too much on the brush, I can easily dab it off on my hand. You can also use a metal palette, but again, if you use the applicator that comes with this product, a lot will come onto your face, and if you put too much on, it has a tendency to pull off makeup rather than highlighting. The parts of the face that we're going to highlight are going to be the brow bone and the high points of the cheek, so it's going to make a little bit of a C shape right here. You're also going to want to do the bridge of your nose, and if you'd like to make your lips look fuller, you can also highlight your cupid's bow. So taking a little product on my brush and wiping any excess on my hand, I'm just going to apply it there and move it up to the brow bone. Highlighter is not to apply it too close to this part of the eye. You want to keep most of these products on the outsides of the cheek area or towards the outside. For example, if you're looking straight ahead at yourself in a mirror and you put a pencil where your pupil is, you want to keep most of the product towards the outside of that little invisible line. For example, with contouring, if you bring it too far in, you will look like a marionette. If you bring your blush too far in, you're gonna look like you have redness in the cheeks. And if you bring that highlight too close to this area, you're gonna accentuate any fine lines that you have, and no one looks attractive when they say, hey, look at the fine lines around my eyes. So be very careful not to apply products too close to this area when you're contouring and highlighting. Alright guys, that is how I contour and do my blush and highlight. If you'd like to know more about how to contour or have a specific question, go ahead and leave it in the comments section and I'll do my best to address it. If you have requests, please leave them in the comment section. I want to make sure I do videos that you guys want to see. Thank you so much for watching The Beauty Beginners, and if you haven't already, take a second to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!